Sumo deadlifts are hands down one of the best hamstring, glute, and low back exercises that you can do. In this episode of Total Body Training, I'm going to teach you how to do a sumo deadlift with a barbell. Welcome back to Total Body Training. My name is Jean Carlos, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click the subscription button. On this channel, we go over fitness tips, trends, and tutorials to help you stay informed and get in shape. And if you haven't already clicked the thumbs up button, click the thumbs up if you like the video. If it ain't your thing, that ain't no thing. Just give me a thumbs down and we're gonna jump into the video. This is the sumo deadlift. I should preface this by saying that I love sumo deadlifts. I am very excited to be teaching you all this exercise. Let's set up for the sumo deadlift. When setting up for the sumo deadlift, you're going to come up to the barbell and you're going to stand in a sumo stance. So think like a sumo wrestler. So that means your toes are going to be slightly turned out and you're going to be standing wide. Different people have different widths that they feel comfortable with, and oftentimes that is a matter of preference or that is a matter of limb length. I stand very wide when I do my sumo because I have long legs. Ashton, Rouska, who's a friend of mine and a USAPL powerlifter, stands a little bit more narrow because A, it's his preference, but also B, it services his leverages better. So if you're new to sumo deadlifting, you're going to want to play with how wide you stand. There's no one size fits all deadlift, but just know that if you're standing in a conventional stance and you're calling it a sumo, you're not sumo deadlifting. For more on the conventional deadlift, you can click this video right here. The sumo deadlift, what you're going to do is start off in that wide stance. Here's my stance right here. You are going to grab the bar and pull it close to your legs. The bar is going to be very close to your shoelaces. I like to press it against my shins. You do not want the bar to sit out too far in front of you because then the bar has to travel out and then come forward, or has to travel from a distance to get to your body. The closer you can keep the bar to your center of gravity, the better. You will notice that powerlifters sometimes put chalk on their legs when they're pulling their deadlifts, and that's because they literally let the bar ride up their leg. That doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. Now, once you're in this position, you are going to grab the bar with an overhanded position. I like to teach the overhanded position first to all beginners. I don't recommend going with an underhanded deadlift until you've been training for a long time. The reason for that is that if you start off with doing the underhanded position, or the mixed grip as is the better way to call it, you will develop an imbalance with your deadlift. So what do I mean by that? Mixed grip deadlifting is easier. There's something about resting and changing the grip that makes it easier to pull. But one of the problems with it is that you can overdevelop one of your traps, your triceps, and the other side of your body more than the other if you're not training with an overhanded grip or if you're not mixing the grip. So I have some clients who like to get around this by training for, like, say 1 week with a left hand over underneath and a right hand over, and then maybe the next week they switch. But I don't like that switching back and forth training. I like to do underhanded when I'm going lighter and then eventually switch to that mixed grip position. I wish somebody had told me this when I first started because I did develop a larger trap, which is still seeable in pictures. It's annoying. But anyways, and you are going to pack your lats. So that means you're going to squeeze your back and set it up so that it's open, and you are going to tighten your back and open it up like you're Johnny Bravo. From there, you're going to bend over at the waist and then bend your legs. The sumo deadlift, or any deadlift for that matter, is a hip hinge movement. That means that the power comes from you bending over at your waist. Make sure that your sumo starting position does not look identical to a squat. If it looks like a squat, if you're too upright in the position and your hips are too low, then you're coming at the movement with a disadvantage. So make sure, and you're not really activating the muscles correctly. So make sure that you're grabbing the bar, you've got a slight arch in your spine, your hips are low, not identical to a squat, but a little bit similar to a squat. You're going to pack your lats, and then you're going to pull the bar up and let the bar drift up your leg or your legging, or directly in front of your leg or your legging. You're going to lock out at the top of the movement with a straight back, and then you're going to come back down with control. That is the sumo deadlift. Let's go over some common mistakes. Common mistakes in the sumo deadlift are rounding your spine too much. Some people set up for the sumo deadlift and they start off with a golem back. as I like to call it, an old man back where you're coming up with a rounded spine. Try to keep your shoulder blades pinched and your chest open when you're doing that, and that should solve your incorrect form. The next common mistake that I want to go over is squatting too much in the sumo deadlift. There are some people who get really low when they're deadlifting and they bring their legs so low that their squat and their deadlift look almost identical. And if that's the case for you, then I would suggest that you focus a little bit more on your hip hinge, so bending over more at the waist. One way you can fix this is by experimenting a little bit with what they call a stiff leg deadlift, where your legs are very, very straight in the position. It's not gonna solve your issues with the sumo, but it's gonna teach you how to learn how to do a hip hinge better when you're doing the movement, or maybe perhaps you should try to learn that from your conventional deadlift a little bit better. Conventional deadlifting and stiff leg deadlifting are a little bit similar. They're not identical. Don't crucify me for saying that, but they are more similar than, say, a conventional sumo deadlifter. So all you powerlifters out there that are watching this video, don't talk crap to me about it. Just make sure that you're not bending your legs so much that it's just into a squat. Another common mistake is jutting your knees too far past the barbell. This makes the lift inefficient. So let me show you. And this, I should say, also is a part of a problem when people make their deadlifts look more like a squat. So right here you can see that my knees are drifting past the bar. And while this isn't a problem, what happens is that it creates an inefficiency because the barbell's having to travel up and around your knee, and then you have to straighten up to get up out of the movement. And this imbalance doesn't let you pull the bar closer to your center of gravity, which makes it harder for you to pull. And it might not make a difference right now, but when you start stacking on all that weight, those 45-pound bars, those 45-pound plates and things like that, these little inefficiencies will hold you back from getting that 6,000-pound deadlift that you've always wanted to get. So make sure that your hips are sitting back in the movement and that your knees are, your shin, I should say, is in a vertical angle. So you've got a vertical angle with your shins and your knees aren't pushing too far forward. One way that you can fix this is by recording yourself. Some people will, instead of recording themselves, try to look at themselves in a mirror when they're doing the movement. I am not a fan of watching myself in a mirror when I'm deadlifting. Here's why. Whenever I'm deadlifting, especially since I'm more advanced, if I've got weight on the bar, turning to the side cranks on my neck and it feels uncomfortable. This is me, and I think this is actually a lot of people. So I don't recommend doing that unless you're just using very, very light weight. But I also feel like I can't make the right mind-muscle connection by looking in the mirror and doing the movement at the same time. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do y'all do stuff with a mirror? I remember when I was a beginner, I did for deadlifting, but I never found that it really worked for me. It works for other things, in my opinion, like say curls or other movements where you're not like using your entire body and you can't like take out your neck when you're doing something. But personally, I find it to be really uncomfortable. I've never seen other people say the same thing, but this is my channel, so that's how I'm teaching it. I think it's better to instead set up your cell phone so that you can record your deadlift so that you can later on or in between sets look at what you're doing. So just take your phone out, place it to the side, everybody's on their phone anyways in the gym, and look at what your pull's looking like. Look at your knees, look at your vertical shin angle, look at where everything's going so that you can decide, am I doing this right? And then from there you can improve. Anyways, people, that's it for this video. Question of the day. Do you prefer to do the sumo deadlift or the conventional deadlifter? Let me know down in the comments section below. I love to talk to all of the people who are members here or people who follow us or just people who are coming by to talk to us about deadlifting. Anyways, people, you've been watching Total Body Training. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2020. All right, people, until next time, peace. Working out from home can be boring. Whether it's the fact that you don't have proper weightlifting equipment or you're sick and tired of using pre-recorded workout videos that lack motivation and proper instruction that is geared towards you. If you find yourself in one of those categories, look no further than Total Body Training. We've got you covered with our online weightlifting from home program. That's right, we teach you in a virtual classroom how to work out and lift weights for you at your current level and where you want to be at in the next 6, 12 months. Where do you want to be at by the end of this year? We've got you covered with our online weightlifting program. So if you're interested, read the description section of this video to learn more about how you can start lifting weights from home with us today.